Alright, we should be live, but I don't know if we are live.
We are.
Is the sound coming
Yes.
through? Alright. Oh, there's something I forgot.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it?
Oh,
Do you want me?
you should do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Karl,
I'm Sunny,
aka
Henry, and some guitar.
Okay, so what are we doing? Who are you?
We've got a Josh,
And
he's not joshing around.
Wait,
He
Josh.
isn't.
Where's Josh? He's.
Should be correct. There he is.
Yeah, there is Josh, but what about these people before him? Isn't there this
No,
Ryan?
This should be the last one. See, 4 to 18 July, and Josh is the first
Have
one.
I gone? Did I go too far? I think
Are
I
you
went.
sure?
Oh yeah, I went way
too
down.
far. Okay, great.
I was like, wait, what? What's happening?
Like, did you have it
Where
set
am
to
I?
new posts? Okay, here we go. Oh, there you go, boy. Oh, that you? I see.
Yes.
Shh. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
It's secret.
don't tell the people. They can't be trusted.
It can't be trusted.
Okay,
Okay, here we go.
everybody is not innocent.
Finally, finished up my Krieg Chimera that I've been painting up for the last month. Really proud of how it came out, and I'm happy with where it's at. But I'm planning on going back and adding weathering with oils and make the mud look more wet than dry. It does match with the rest of my army so far, so I like it. It looks great. I mean, I don't know if you want to do wet mud, more power to you. I like it as is. Great decal work, great weathering. I like all those little sort of grassy bits stuck to the front of the bulldozer claw thing. Bulldozer blade. Sides look good. Everything looks clean.
Yeah,
you know?
well, see,
Hey, penguin!
when I take a look at it, the biggest thing I think about is I think it's a good idea to make it look wet because at the moment it does look a little bit odd. I think you can have like it more wet down there.
Yeah, just halfway.
And then you have that. But the other thing is, just remember where should you have your splatter and that sort of thing. So I think one person who would be really good to ask both here in the Facebook and on the Discord is Penguin. Speaking of the Discord, we are
on the Discord.
If you want to come in and chat.
Yeah,
So
we are in the stream room. So if you guys have the Discord, please come on and chat.
here, right about here and along there, all of this should be covered in mud. And the reason is because this is where the tracks are coming up and flinging the stuff if they're going through
and
wet stuff.
I think the mud should be all along the rails, shouldn't they? The whole track of the thing.
It is, but
It doesn't look that way.
No, because hold up.
Yeah,
So
see? It's just metal. And then towards the bottom, it's got the mud, but it should be the whole,
along there.
Yeah, so the whole track should have the mud, shouldn't it?
So what I would probably do if you want to get the whole mud in everything right is you get your texture paste or whatever you're using. Of course, we use Calideurs Creme, aka homemade texture paste. And what you can do is you can paint it on in there. And so to make it as if it's going through there, what you do is you paint it on along there. Get yourself just a Q-tip, cotton bud, and just wet it and just remove the majority of it. And it will seep into those little ridges around there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, whatever you use for your basing, that sort of thing, I think that's probably a good idea. But like, I think the issue I have with your stuff is, like, your stuff is so clean. So you're really showing off some high levels of talent with your painting. Like, take a look at this.
Oh yeah.
It's very nice and clean and that sort of thing,
love
right?
that gradient.
So you're showing off a lot of talent, but you've got conflicting styles, right? Because if you want weathering, right, you can't really can't really have that level of cleanliness. You know what I'm saying?
I guess like it would look a little bit. It's got to have more weathering throughout. I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I think.
Like some people, for example, Tomas would do sort of a faded out decal or a little bit of chipped off decal rather than it's like pure, clean, bright colored, almost look like freshly painted.
Yeah, we'll see, like, the kind of vibe I'm getting is that it's rolled out onto the battlefield, right? And if that's the case, what you want is much more of that wet mud, much less of the dried stuff, because that will make it look as if it is fresh off the production line into action. If that makes sense.
Yeah, which is something Rumble pointed out.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it might be fresh off the production line. And Penguin says...
Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to have to click this to make sure that things are...
Yeah, no, I'm keeping it. So Penguin says, yes, pigments are your friend to making dry mud and does pigments with some gloss medium works good for splatter.
Yeah, well, there's certain ones that if you wet them, they just look wet forever. So when I just add water to my Tamiya mud, it just looks wet forever. I don't know why that is, but it's like in this little makeup cup. But I hope, Mr. Docking, Mr. Josh, that we have helped you out here, because I think you're showing a lot of talent, and like it must be very frustrating to hear, some of these bits of advice, because I can imagine like the cleanliness that you put all of these things in looks really nice. Like, you look at that little viewport right there, so clean, so nice, all of that sort of thing. And then, because I can see the level of effort you're putting in.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with the level of skill.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes you just have conflicting styles in, because this is more about the storytelling rather than the skill. And those two things just need to meet in the middle.
Yeah,
that's it. All right, let us go move on.
And this one's for you.
Me?
Yes.
Is it me?
Yes.
Ryan, we have. I think it was mentioned on the stream today about not being able to get videos like mine. This is my photo and video setup. I use ring light, a turntable, a selfie stick as a tripod, and Bluetooth remote and piece of Max Darth fabric background. Yeah. To actually take the video/photo, I use my iPhone. I knew it was iPhone 15 Pro Max. Turn the exposure down and the brightness up to get around issues with autofocus. I set the focal point at known distance using my thumb and pressing the screen until the autofocus freezes. Then I can manually focus the mini by physically moving it backward or forward until it's crisp. Hope this helps.
I find it very frustrating. I've put all of the settings, so don't notify me of anything, right?
And you still get notified.
Yeah, I know, because Facebook is made by the Zuck, and the Zuck does have the suck. So we've got the Max Darth paint, but not backdrop.
So the Max Darth fabric, I bought a fabric that looked similar to that.
Do you want
from
to try
Spotlight?
it?
No, because when I used that, you didn't like it. You thought that the contrast between the model and the background was too much.
Okay.
I did buy that sort of stretchy fabric, if you remember the dark fabric originally, and you weren't keen on that, and then you said let's just go back to using paper. I like the paper. I've got a few different things. I've got a paper. I've got like a black cardboard cards that I am using recently as well.
Well, maybe we need to figure something out,
Yeah,
because I think that Ryan's I think that Ryan's ones are quite good.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is some dramatic contrast in how much we're actually picking up. I think if we were purely I I think if we were a purely sort of grimdark commission, like, because we do literally anything, right? So we will do things like, for example, the Bushido we did this week,
Yeah.
and it's very sort of poppy.
Like, I don't really care about the background and the style. What I care about is clarity and how to achieve that level of clarity.
We'll see. We'll see. What I'm saying is that I think Ryan's setup is really good for the grimdark aesthetic.
For sure, yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Still figuring it out.
I'm not sure, like, if it's that great for some other things.
I don't think right now setup is what is the issue. Is more figuring out settings. But
okay,
yeah. All right.
Speaking of Tomas, it looks like we've got more Tomas.
Last 2 weeks. Just 1 second. I just want to see what's being. Penguin. Your friends make dry mud, dust, pigments. Oh, yeah, we've read that. Tanker community grows, and it should. Nah, these are a lot of good points. Oh, great. I'm glad you feel that way. Is black or white better as backdrops for pics? Again, it depends on the model.
Yeah. That's why I like the neutral grey, because the neutral grey gives us, like, the most options.
Versatile.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Versatile, that's the way of saying it.
Last 2 weeks, I suffered heavy motivation crisis. I collected myself only during recent review stream. They always boost me with energy to paint. Huzzah! So I finally painted something. My favorite Space Marines chapter are Ultramarines. Yeah, surprise, I know. But for a long time, I wanted to switch to some more obscure, less popular ones. My second pick was always Nova Marine. Oh, and Sides of the Emperor. But they're quite popular too. So I looked for other Ultramarine successors, and I was considering Castellans of the Rift for some time, as they have olive armors, and as you may guess, as a military staff scale modeler, I have a lot of olive paints. But I quickly abandoned that idea for the same reason I considered them in the first place: olive colors. The reason I got into painting Warhammer was opportunity to paint something in wilder colors as a break from constantly painting everything in olive or brown. Finally, I decided to pick Imperious Reavers. I like their black and red color scheme and their specialization in exterminating Genestealer cult. Everything was fine until during research I learned something about them that killed my enthusiasm for them. I don't want to elaborate about this for various reasons. Anyway, the thing is, I abandoned this idea too. As Warhammer takes inspirations from many different nations around the world, I guess everyone was at some point thinking about Space Marines chapters or Guard Regiment inspired by their nation. I'm no different and was thinking about Poland-themed Space Marines for some time.
So which ones are these? The Nova Marines?
No, they are not Nova Marines.
Castellans of the Rift, is that right?
I don't think the Castellan of the Rift.
Okay,
it's just sort of
but
saying...
I was quickly considering them. I decided to pick the Imperious Reavers.
I think I'm finally getting to the part where he explains who these guys are. Okay, Guard Regiment inspired by their nation. I'm no different, and I was thinking about Poland-themed Space Marines for some time, but never wanted to go the easy way and just slap them with red and white and add hussars wings to everything. As I'm a very uncreative person, I needed some strong inspiration, so I looked upon history, specifically into... I don't know how to read Roman numbers. Something century, as it was the time when idea of military...
18th.
Okay, 18th century. As it was the time when idea of military uniform matured, but because of still using black powder, they were very colorful. I wanted some more muted red leaning into the orange, AK. Now I'm working on a sergeant. So essentially he wanted to make something that was... inspired by 18th century.
Yeah,
Poland.
and I've got that up right now, which is these right here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just a little confused is all. I'm like, what?
Well, Tomas likes to tell his process.
Yeah, no, I understand that, right? But like I was confused what
he was going for. And I think
what the issue was.
Okay, so I think this actually... Alright, let me go back here. Castellans of the Rift. Nah.
Yeah, because I was just taking a quick look.
Because he mentions black and red for one of the people.
Pure stock, no.
Imperious Reavers? Finally decided to pick Imperious Reavers. Okay, that's what he's going for. He's trying to paint Imperious Reavers, but in a 18th century Polish style.
Okay.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. I don't know. Is this finished? Because it feels a little bit unfinished.
I'm pretty sure it's a test model, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think this looks very badass, actually.
Well, like as a test model, I think it's if it is a test model, it's good. But like at the moment, I'm very confused because like Tomas is like I didn't like these guys, but I like these guys, and then I made these guys, and like I guess the reason I'm confused is because I expect a certain level from Tomas, and he's not hitting that level, and I'm not sure what the goal for us is here. Like, are we to say how well he's pulled this off?
Yeah, because I'm not really sure at which. I guess he's explained. Okay, what I think Tomas did was like word vomited what was in his head. Right?
Yes.
Like he spoke aloud his thoughts. Nothing wrong with that. It's just now when we come to the review, it's like, okay, Tomas, but what is your goal? What do you wish to achieve?
What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want? And it was just like, okay, how can we help you achieve your vision?
Yeah, because I'm looking at this, right? And I'm thinking to myself, he's got a very sort of warm white in the central one. So take a look at the Aquila, and it's a warm white. And I don't see warm whites in that uniform. I see very cold whites, right?
So I guess the cloak is a warm white.
No. Look, okay, like so take a look at this. Take a look at this right here, right? So we've got cold whites here, right? These are both cold whites, and then a warm white here, right? So I think this should be a warm white, right? I think that this here should probably be some sort of colored metallic, whether a brass, a bronze, or something like that.
Why do you say that?
To help break up everything. Because what we have, right, is we've got this red with the black, right? And I think
Tomas is here. It's a color scheme test model. The ones from next posts are too. Okay, great.
Okay, all right. So I think, like, if you have a cold white here, I think that would look better, especially against this, nice red background. Right? So I
disagree.
What? Okay.
Because the warm one, the Aquila takes up a lot of the visual hierarchy here, right?
Yeah.
A lot of visual attention. And it feels more old school with the warm white. Because you have to consider the style of the model is futuristic.
Yes, but
when you have clean colors, it doesn't give that inspiration of the 18th century.
This right here is cold whites.
Yes, but it has 18th century fashion and style. So you have that contrast. So despite the fact that it is very clean.
Okay. Let's take a look at it, right? So we take a look at this soldier right here. And he pretty much follows it to a T, with the exception of red cuffs, right?
Yeah, okay.
All right, so he's following it to a T. He's got his jacket on, right? He literally has a jacket, right? If you look at it, he's wearing a jacket.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But when we take a look at this is majorly different. And so my thought is this, right? What you have is you have colds breaking up the warm. So red is obviously the warm here, right? Comparatively.
Yep.
Right? And so what you have is you've got cold, you got warm. Sorry, you got cold, you got warm. You got cold, you get warm. And like that I think is a better breakup.
Like a pattern. Okay, fine. Sure. We'll go with that advice.
Well,
I think
you can disagree. It's
Nah,
you're allowed to
I,
disagree.
I like it as is with the warm Aquila. I think it gives a break between the cold white of the trims, and then you've got like a warm white Aquila in the middle. I don't
but see,
mind it.
I think with a cold white, like, that helps sort of stitch everything together.
I guess. I think the final piece of resistance to really bring this reference to life, Tomas, is to add that leg stripe, vertical leg stripe going down the side of the Space Marine leg.
Like here.
Yeah, because in the reference they have that white stripe going down the pant on the side.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you just put that one line, it'll just be like instant recognition.
I'm a little worried that if he puts like a white line along there, it'll be like he's like ka-chow. You know, he's more a racing car than, you know, because like I said, it does feel much more like a uniform. I do wish that this was black instead of the red, because then you have this nice silhouette there.
Yeah. Okay. Penguin says, I too am a fan of the pike and shot black powder era. Okay.
Let's move on, because I think and you can tell us what upset you, Tomas, so that
you
we
could
can
just
know.
tell us what you think of the advice.
Yes.
You don't always have to tell us what upset.
No, because he said that in the post.
Oh.
Not with us.
Oh, all right, okay.
He's not upset with us.
All right. Okay, we got Krisha.
Not me, especially. My advice
never,
is the best.
Never upset with you. Krisha. Yeah. My next Space Wolf character and a squad of intercessors. And as always, Krisha always does a good job with these armies.
Yeah, no, I think I think that the chipping is excellent on this.
Yeah, it's just the right amount, you know?
Yeah.
And he's usually aiming for like a tabletop plus.
Yeah.
So I think this covers it perfectly. Basing is well done, in my opinion. I'm no expert, but, you know, Karl's the expert. Right?
Well, you can comment on the painting as I go through it then, and then I will be the one to comment on the basing.
Yes, very clean with just the right amount of weathering to make it feel like battle worn. And, you know, they have that sort of comic booky vibe that they normally have. So I think it follows the intent of how a style is. Clean, nice. I'm not sure what else to say.
Well,
I feel like he met his goal.
Yeah, no, I think he met his goal. The other thing that I'm looking at here is, like, I'm trying to think, you know, what can I say here which is either somewhere where you can improve, or like usable feedback.
I've never seen ram's horns on any Space Marine.
This looks
loyals.
really interesting.
A very interesting concept. Okay, we've got Ghost. Hello, everyone. Sorry, not Ghost, but Bear. Bear. Hello, Bear.
Ghost Bear.
Yeah, Ghost Bear.
Yeah, so when I look at all of this, like, unfortunately, I think this is one of the problems when people hit their goals, right? So he's going for tabletop plus character level sort of thing, right? The chipping is just right, I think, because, like, I see this clean part here, and then I see the other bits of damage here, and I go, oh, okay, so, like, that's the part that's remained untouched, rather than going, oh, that seems off, right? So when I look at all of this, I'm like, yeah, no, it seems good. Like, there's nothing there where I look at it and I'm just like, all right, that definitely needs to be fixed. Like, I was thinking about how this is done in a steel color, and I was just thinking for color contrast, you know, he could have gone for like a gold. And then I thought about it for a second and I'm like, all right, no, he wants to focus on the model. So, like, even though this is a brown, technically it's much closer to a grey.
Yeah, like grayish brown.
Right. So he's got a whole lot of neutrals here, right? And even he's quite colorful grass here, right? The purple one.
Yeah, desaturated.
Yeah, very desaturated, right? So you see all of this, and you even see the orc skull in the background, and you're like, okay, there's some details there, but let's look at the character. And that is often what bases should do. You're just like, oh, all of that's interesting. Anyway, let's look at the dude, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that is exactly what these bases have done.
I'm just very, very keen on the dude with the ram's horns.
Yeah, no, I think
At
it
first
all.
I felt like, oh, chaos, but like, oh no, he's not actually chaos. You know, it gives a bit of a fantasy element to these guys.
I do think that it could be used for chaos. I think that all of it's good. I think he hit his targets.
Bear says, I want to paint my next clan Ghost Bear star in the colors of the Space Wolves. But
Okay, so we got an update from Tomas.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Oh, look, this one has the clean white, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
Alright,
Well,
so
it's a
here we
steal,
are
isn't it?
with color scheme of Sergeant and Lieutenant. First one was easy, just a red helmet and silver instead of white details to add some bling. By the way, note that NCO on the picture from the previous post have red hat, while the grunt have blue. Lucky coincidence. I had a little bigger head scratch with the lieutenant. First, I quickly sculpted a piece of tabard and shoulder guard from green stuff and add some bulk to generic intercessor I used as a test subject. National Cavalry officers were entirely blue uniforms with red stripe on pants. I went this way and painted him dark blue and Codex Lieutenant helmet. I knew 3 things. I want gold for the bling of war. All cloth parts should be white, and he have had to have a stripe, as at least in Slavic countries. It was important distinguishable feature for officer today in Poland received for. So yeah, similar to what at first I thought about painting the stripe only on the right arm and using the helmet's color scheme, but I quickly scrapped that idea as it would look too much like N7 armor from Mass Effect. The helmet stripe combined with the shade of blue already evokes Mass Effect a bit too strongly. After a short while I decided to go full classic and paint red stripe on legs, and now it's probably my favorite part of this game. Overall, I'm not entirely convinced to the scheme, hence I didn't apply any transfers with markings. As for captains and more elite marines, I plan to make much more custom armors for every one of them. Yeah, like I said.
Well, I do think that the stripe has worked out very well here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about how it will work on other areas, so I think the fact that he's got it segmented the way that it is very good, but I'm not as sure about the variation in color. Okay, because like
I think it looks.
Well, okay, so let me explain, right? So these 2 guys look like they're from the same army, right? And this guy over here, like, to my eye, he looks closer to a Templar, right? A Black Templar. And when I take a look at it, now, I'm not saying that you can't have variations throughout your army, right? But when I look at it, that's what I think. I think if he goes with the stripe idea, I do think if, for example, you have stripes on all of them, like that will give them a more
unifying element.
a unifying element, because at the moment the only thing that will unify them is their shoulder pad, which won't be as strong. And I think the fact that he's got the gold trim, and when I take a look at all of these guys together, right? What I first thought was not like, okay, these are different ranks, but what I thought was instead, okay, here is some different variations that he's trying for the army. I thought he's like, here, okay, I'm gonna try with metallic steel, or I'm gonna try with a sort of similar theme but slightly different, and these are the things. And like, I'm saying that absent the text, right? And what do we talk about with visual design all the time?
Instant recognition.
Yeah. Now, this evolution to this, I think, is good. Um, this evolution to this is is a lot more of a jump for me.
Well, to be fair, that's like a leader guy. The all dark blue one.
I understand, but what I am saying is, as I see them now, they don't have that level of connection. And we have seen how they do vary from the source material quite a bit.
Yeah, so I think having that leg stripe will actually help with that.
Yes, I agree.
And that should be all you need. Make them feel a bit more.
I wonder. Yeah, okay. Alright. Well, we'll see how this evolves because quite often Tomas gives us updates throughout the week.
Okay, so next we have Kiwi.
Yes. I do believe this one's been posted twice, so if you see the next one, I'm just going to make sure.
There is another one.
Yeah, got a
after
duplicate,
that.
yeah. Okay.
No, but it has a different caption.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yep.
Started my first key character fulgrim. If I could change one thing, was to spray some white on the tail around the symbol.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say so.
To give like a bit of an OSL effect, is that right? I don't know.
No, I think he just wished like that when he didn't have to put so many coats down. I'm guessing.
Pretty intense.
Yeah, so look, it's a start. It looks like he's getting into the skin.
And then we've got, I guess it's the same thing, just different text on the
Yeah, I think maybe something stuffed up and essentially
maybe he thought he didn't post it and then he posted it.
Yeah, I remember him saying something about like it posting twice or something. So but yeah, look,
it's clean, it's looking good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
Now we have Genuine Vision.
Who doesn't love us still?
Been a wee while since I either on the mercenary dwarf from Spira Mirabilis.
I think it looks really good. I think it's an excellent update. But we will we'll move on from this one because he doesn't love us. He doesn't.
We gotta say something.
No, I said it's a lovely update.
Yeah, but
fine. You can say it, but I'm gonna cross my arms and say hurrah because he doesn't love us.
I like the wood. I think I'm not so sure about the non-metallic metal on the wood mallet itself. It feels a bit dark for the positioning. What do you think?
Yeah, I can follow what you're saying, but it might have just been painted up, just got it on, and I think he might be trying to push the light, but I don't know. We will see. All right, let us move on to
Joseph. End of weekend update whip, and these girls are coming along quite nicely.
Yeah, I think they are.
I think the skin work is much better here. Like it's a little bit more smooth and blended out.
Honestly, I think eyes like this are better than his googly eyes, where he just sort of shadows them.
Yeah, like even with the Bushido models, I don't really, once the eyes get to a certain size, I don't really bother trying to paint pupils. I just flood them with a dark color, and it actually works out fine. So maybe you might want to consider that, Joseph, for these models.
Yep. I agree. All right. So next up, it's us. So if there is anybody who has, would you guys?
Yeah, if any one of you guys would
What?
like to join us on the Discord, get on the call and give feedback, that would be great.
Yep.
I mean, that's all.
Well, so these are mostly your work. I mostly just did the basing. So tell us a bit about your process while we wait desperately for someone to come on.
Mostly contrast base, like that's what I did to set the colors. You did a zenithal prime like you normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And skin, I always...
Is this just a contrast?
That is definitely not just a contrast. I would say that my fox boy...
That's L'Oreal right there.
L'Oreal. I tried to get that effect because he's a big boy. And I wanted him to have more presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But all the warrior peoples are mostly contrast base, and then I layered on top with regular base paint and layer paint.
You telling me if you contrast
that I drew on, of course.
Oh, you drew on
with the white paint.
Okay, so that's not contrast.
No, not contrast. No, Bear is shocked about something. Don't know what he's shocked about.
She looks like she's got a bruised
eye.
It's not a
girl. It's a man.
Why has she got a bruised eye?
I don't know, and it's a man.
Is this a man?
Yes, they're all men.
They're all men. This is a man?
Yeah.
I'd date that man.
You date this man?
Yeah, I'd date that man.
Why this man and not the other one? The other
mostly
one
because
prettier.
Mostly because of the breasts.
Oh. Because they're non-existent?
I guess.
I see. There are nothing to be seen here.
But I think that's some damn fine basing, if I do say so myself.
I wonder why. How.
See, this is a man.
Yeah, that is a man.
See, and he's wearing some sort of leopard print. What was this?
I don't know. I just followed the box.
You're just like, I'll just draw whatever your patterns are, whatever the dumb patterns are.
Yeah, so like this one was like striking cops.
Look at that booty.
It is not a booty, unfortunately. I think there's something underneath there. And
see, that's a big booty.
He does have a big booty.
What about this lovely lass here?
Oh, you helped me do the OSL effect on her pink spell.
And how do you think the OSL came out?
Oh, it looked pretty good. Turned out pretty nice.
Do you think like it was the right amount?
I like the green you used. Yeah, the green I used was actually Karen Drass green, I think. And I mixed it with a little bit of Black Templar to get a darker shade of that, and I did that like a quarter way, and then Karen Drass green and wet blended them together, and then I used Striking Scorpion green and blended that in, so I had like a bit of a triad going.
Do you think I gave the right amount of OSL?
I think that's good. Like I think any more than that would be a bit too much in my. I think. And we've got this archer guy. I
don't think you edited that one as much.
I don't.
There's like some that you edited heavy. Like, this is the thing I don't get about the Bushido models. There's like this guy right here, right?
Oh, because these ones I took with a different light.
No. Okay, so there's this guy right here, right? And he's just sort of like fisherman guy, and then right next to him we have some dude reading a scroll, and there's like all of these demonic faces popping out of the smoke and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he's there and he's, crazy robes, right? Like, look at this guy. Like, he's a sorcerer from a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
And then there's just like a guy. He's just like, I got a box.
Well, not everybody has to be special.
And like, this guy right here, he's like, I am Lord Daimyo, the Daimiest. And, like, he's got these great big symbols on him and all of this crazy stuff.
They're just the patterns of
his clothes. Yes, I understand. But what I'm saying is, we've got stuff like this thing, and then just like fisherman guy.
Yeah, I suppose he is a bit out of place in the whole
I'm
group.
very happy with how the basing worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
like
very happy with the actual fox.
yeah, I think the fox came up quite nice.
Yeah.
Like, I think you don't see. Yeah, right here, I think is his golden angle. Like, nice little flower over there, some little weeds, you know, he's got his little balls and all that sort of thing.
The little heavy balls.
Yeah, like, because, see, there's this guy, he looks kind of epic. There's this guy, and then there's some guy in the back. Oh,
he's an archer.
Oh, my. He's just there, and he's just like, don't worry about poor old me.
The fox does look good, says Pink. Alright, I guess we're moving on then.
Yeah, well, no one came on.
No
one
one came
said
on.
anything.
No one seems
we'll
to
just,
care
we'll just...
about community building. Okay. We got Larry.
Yes, we got Larry.
Just some small progress this week. Painted the cloth on the skeleton, trying for cloth that's dirty and in the process of being bleached. A base of fuchsia that looked desaturated to me, mixed with shading gray for shadows and rainy gray for highlights. Two different mixtures of different levels of gray, then washed with brown wash for sand thinned. The brown sand wash looks good, but took away some of the highlights. Should I redo them? Then I glued the arms on. Maybe a touch premature, but I did it. Put a white oil wash on the blade. Then I'll do clean up tomorrow after it's had a bit to dry. Ooh, and orcs have medical staff. Time to experiment. Evil laughter.
Alright, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's come up quite nice. I love the base though. Whatever that rock, whatever that is, however you've made that is really quite nice. It looks like some ancient ruin that you're
that's what I was
standing
thinking too.
on, and it's such a good rock. I love that rock. And the metals come out great. I think this is just a base. He's probably gonna do more weathering on them, I think.
I've got no idea.
Yeah, to make it a bit more tattered, a little bit more decayed.
Well, what do we think of our Mr. Skeleton?
Yeah, he's actually made some updates on it further on.
Oh, has he?
Yeah,
So do you want to save your feedback for that?
We can take a look at some more pictures to see if it does have anything. Yeah, so he's basically done the oil wash, like he said, to give that OSL in contrast. So we shall save our
and what about this? He finished assembly.
It's the weird boy, right?
Yeah, I do believe. Oh, no, it's not a weird boy.
He's
it's
the medical guy.
I've forgotten what that one's named. But
Fixer
let us move on.
Oh my gosh, who is this? Look very nice model.
Okay, so we went from pretty much all you to pretty much all me.
You, yeah.
So
unfortunately, some of these pieces of this dude weren't there. I think he came out pretty decent. I like him.
Yeah, no. So when I did him up, like, so the client requested that the base be black, right? So there's all sorts of black pigment powder over it, but the reason why I did it the way that I did is, unfortunately, as a model, he's very boring.
Well, it's the color scheme.
Yeah, like, there's not a lot that you can contrast with, but you see how bright that is? That's because those hands are actually reflective.
Yeah, you've used the hyperchrome.
Yeah, I can't remember how I did it exactly, but I got it to a reflective finish. I was pretty happy with how the plasma weapon came out, but doing up all of this backpack nonsense, oh my god, it's so fiddly, and it broke off more than once, and I just thought to myself, why? Just why? Like, this was made in, I think, like 2007 or something.
Oh.
Right? Or I can look it up, but like they had the technology. They know how to make these things, and it was just sort of like, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, like
I
I
like
think,
how you've tried your best to include some level of color into the piece. Like
yeah.
you've got the color from the plasma, the wires, that yellow light thing,
Oh yeah,
and
the little tubing for it, the canisters. Yeah.
then you've got the gold. I think without the gold, this would be
Oh yeah.
quite a tragic piece. But you try to do a bit of non-metallic metal for
We'll
the
see. Like,
black, and of
this is
course,
one of the few ones where I think like the body might steal the limelight.
yeah, because he's the only colored guy there, which
Yeah,
is the Emperor's children. And you've
and
got two Iron Hand warriors off to the side,
yeah,
dead.
and they're just, well, one of them's alive. He's just like, oh my lord,
I'm
look at him.
I'm very happy with the black metallic actually.
Are you talking about this stuff
Yeah,
here?
yeah, it actually turned out pretty.
I don't know how things turned out.
To be honest, it's hard to see what it is.
Yeah, well, I think that's just that. But what I am very happy about is the ever so subtle glow from his helmet, which I don't think comes out that much.
I think
And
maybe
like,
another angle might see.
yeah, and like, see, just little touches like the glistening eye and that sort of thing. It's just, it is what it is, like we
It's
got
right there, a little bit of blue.
yeah,
Coming
coming
through.
up.
And of course the Warhammer hammer.
Yes, this is the Warhammer hammer.
Yeah.
And like, it's ironic that it doesn't come up in this because it looks non-metallic metal, but it is true metallic metal. But yeah, that's
And I did the orb.
yes, you did the
That was
orb.
my only contribution to this model.
No, I think you did something
No,
else,
I
but
didn't. This was all you.
yeah, it's just,
I remember.
it was a very frustrating model.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially for a Primarch, because like with Primarchs you want to go all out, and with Perturabo I was able to go far more all out with him than I was with this. I think I was happy with the basing because I compromised by adding some warmth to the base with some browns and stuff, but still made it black. But yeah, it was hard.
Now we have RJ. Pirate Whip, lots and lots of textures to play with. And I like
The boots,
the boots are coming
the gold,
really good. Oh my god, that non-metallic
The-
gold, it's
the striping.
insane. And the striping so straight. How did he do it?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, I know brushstrokes can do it. I've seen him do a similar pant where it's that same blue with the white stripe.
But like, I feel like I know that it is a whip, but I do feel like this is a bit off. So I hope to see
Why?
some This, it looks like papyrus. Doesn't look like
It
cloth.
looked like sea cloth to me.
Yeah. Okay.
And like dingy, didn't wash properly. The face looks good. Talking about Ferris Manus. Rumble. Exhibit. I heard you like true metallic metals, so we non-metallic metalled your
True metallic metal. But I think that really sort of shows how the methods for true metallic metal and non-metallic metal,
They're the same.
yeah, exactly the same.
Wonderful shading as per always with the volumetrics, and like he's going for the classic triad color scheme, red, yellow, and blue. But it comes up very nice.
Yeah, I think like the thing that would drive me mad is the studded leather.
I'm just quite obsessed with that lovely.
Yeah, no, I think it's looking really good. And remember, this is a whip.
Yeah, alright. Oh, What this? What this?
It's somebody who doesn't love us.
As a genuine vision
He doesn't.
again.
He doesn't love us.
Couple of undead pirates from the souls of the deep box for Moonstone the Game by Goblin King Games.
Do you know that he is actually the studio painter for them?
Yes, I know. I remember. And I look at this sad crab guy. Look at the very human eyes. Yes, this looks like something from one of those black and white movie sets. You know what I mean? It has that style.
Oh yeah, I follow what you're saying.
They've got this like ridiculous cartoon creature with like way too humanistic eyes and mouth and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And as per usual, very well done. It has that
great color contrast.
Very good detail as per all. Facing is absolutely wonderful.
See, that's some really nice OSL.
For the like, ghostly.
Yeah, I think like that's really good. It's not too crazy. It's just right. This guy right here, I feel, is the weakest amongst them, but like I don't think like it's bad. It's just like it's the least sort of crazy amongst them, I guess.
And I think they all have that sort of dingy look about them. Like have all that sort of water damp look.
I do think that this guy is mildly hilarious.
He is very fun.
It's just like, I'm done with life.
Next,
I've decided to be a pirate crab. Alright, so next up we have it's more Tomas.
It's more Tomas, and he's doing that camo thing.
Yeah, I do believe this is called Urban Camo or yeah, no, this is just Urban Camo.
And this is pretty much just like the actual box art. I remember they have been patterning.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. Moving on with my homebrew chapter. Since the beginning, I knew I want to have two non-codex companies similar to Dark Angels. First will be Heavy Assault Company of Elite Marines with customized armors, as I said in one of the previous posts. And second will be a Special Forces type company. The only spare Phobos armor marine I has was Sniper from Kill Team starter set, so I used him as my guinea pig. I wanted to use the same deep dark blue as a base to keep color consistent and paint it with some camouflage pattern. At first I planned to make black and gray blocks, but when I was searching for proper tone, my attention was caught by AK's French blue. That was the moment I knew I want entire blue camouflage with deep dark blue and French blue chousing blue gray as the brightest color was obvious. Yeah, but I think we get the point. So I really love the pattern. I love the camo pattern.
Yeah, I do think that the camo pattern's very nice. But it does confuse me a bit why his cloak is a different color.
Right, yeah, like if it's gonna be camo, then do camo all over, right?
Yeah, like is this gonna be a different type of camouflage? Or are you gonna do some optical cloaking? So optical cloaking is where they have that line and then like it all looks like the ground from below. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, the sort of Alfarius sort of thing, but different. But yeah, so I think it looks good. Like this, I have zero problem being different. Like if something's in a sort of camouflage pattern, I don't have the same issue with it being different from the rest of the company because it's basically like, look, I'm different because I have to be different. You know, like it's not the same because essentially the reason why, you know, soldiers have those uniforms is to say, I'm one of these guys, you know?
But it's great blocking, very lovely patterning. I didn't paint this. Yes, I know, Rumble.
All right.
I know it, not you. I've got more from Ryan.
Yeah, now,
You
I
only said
think
Tomas because I'm so used to seeing Tomas do marines like this.
now I think one of the things is that this one is one that he's posted before, but I think it got caught by the algorithm because like I remember going into the back end and it's like this is suspicious spam and I'm like well, why?
Okay. Reproduced from my Instagram new name at the canvas of shadows. My test scheme for my World Eater Stillmania army is finally finished. Here's the final chaotic bloody product and full recipe. Let me
No. We cannot have the music because if we have the music that can cause problems.
I love the editing. Very good. Very well done.
We'll see if we can listen to it at low volume. Alright, let's try low volume.
What app?
He's doing like he does it in time with the music, which is really good.
I think some apps will let you do that. Like you select the music and it'll automatically sync the shots for you. Alright, so here we have is a final chaotic product. Yep. Do you dig the iron and bronze or do the butcher's nail bite because he looks much like a word bearer and he posts the recipe.
Nice. I'm glad that he posts the recipe. But I do have to say one thing. I know it is sort of my thing, but this is really good basing because I've seen lots and lots of bases where it's like a million skulls, but this feels like it can be from a demonic plane and ironically doesn't feel as over the top because it feels almost realistic. Like it feels like the realm from where, for those of you who know, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, Berserk's the God Hand realm. Like that's what it seems like. And it seems very grungy, very interesting. Like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel over the top despite the fact that it is. All right, so what are your thoughts?
I like the verdigris on the gold backpack. Like you said, the base really gives you that feeling of.
So I'm just moving it so you can
so
see the
and the whatever he's done on the back of the horn thingy, the corn symbol, like I really love the weathering on the back of that, and it's got very lovely desaturated shadowing that's super dark, and then you go into like a more desaturated red, but because of that contrast, the red just looks more pink in comparison.
I think that's done with oil paints.
Oh yeah, the oils. Yeah, I think we've pretty much given our majority of our
opinion
previously on this one, so I'm not really sure if there's any.
I think it might be the same one, but it got caught in the algorithm.
Yeah.
All right, let us move on to our next one.
Oh my god! Ooh, this one.
This one was actually done by both of us.
Yeah, so you started off the project. It's Throwback Thursday. Remember this guy? Well, he's finished now. Yeah.
You know, I have to say these mini plants. So we got a whole lot of mini plants off
Timo.
And I've just been cutting them up like this. I didn't paint at all, right? And I think
it already came looking like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's great. Like adds a lot of character. But I think you did really well with the wolf eyes here.
Yeah. So what I did, guys. These new AK markers.
Oh, you used the AK markers.
Yeah, I used the AK markers. So I just bought their three color set just to try. So this one was like their weathering set. So it came with the brown and black and a gunmetal. So I used the black to do the eye, the dot, the inner eye. So I did like a gray first, and then I did a black inner dot and then a white highlight dot. So.
And did you do it all with the markers?
No, just the black inner pupil with the marker because it's like a brush tip type, so it's really good for precision work. like that. So
And I was very happy with the basing. So I got some old wood glue which had separated, I think, or something. It smelled a lot like ammonia. But anyway, I used some different grasses here to get quite a vibrant look. So we got a first lot of grass, and then I put another lot of grass on top of that grass, and I think it came out really, really nice. Like
yeah,
it looked so thick and luscious, and yeah.
sure. I like the hair. I'm happy with the hair
Oh yeah,
and the beard.
I think that the hair looked great.
And also the blade, it tried to do a bit of a non-metallic metal in black, because it like make it look more like stone blade or something.
Well, because in the picture that we got sent, the blade was black, right?
Yeah, so
with the blue things.
Yeah, so I just kept it.
Yeah,
simple,
I think you did really well.
Yeah.
All right. So after that, we've got Brian. Now this is just text, so you want to read it out?
Nearly finished the Pukral God that I was paralyzed on a while back. Love these models. Don't ruin them with your inexpert painting kind of thing. Yep. Need to finalize belts and trim, but almost done. Pleased with how they're turning out. Thankful for the encouragement I see in the community here, other communities, and in Cal and Sunny's hobby psychology video. Nice. Very good.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the pictures because I didn't see any pictures with it.
Yeah, no pictures on this one.
Yeah, so I just wanted to see. So apparently it's a Warhammer Underworld warband. And it looks like they're skeletons. Except they've got some more unique sculpts. But I tell you what, like some of these sculpts are really good. Like other ones, like there's a guy coming out of the ground and they call him the Petitioner, and I'm like, okay, you could have just called him a skeleton. he's just a skeleton.
Just a skeleton.
Speaking of skeletons, it's time for your super special skeleton.
Cleaned up the wash residue, but it seems to have lost some depth, as you see. Tried adding a touch more pressure to get it back. Not much more than reading on it, and it removed the white altogether. Just have to try again when I get the time, I guess.
This looks really cool.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like it. Penguin says, sadly, Bear and I did take some care of some issues. Have a great day, guys. All right. Thank you for joining us, Bear and Penguin. We'll see you next time.
By saying take care of some issues, he's saying people. They're our local Blackwater mercenaries.
Now, it is very different to see turquoise being used for Necron.
I think it's good. I think it contrasts so well against the copper, don't you?
and he's got... And it contrasts differently to the green of the orb. And like I said, we're not used to seeing this kind of green on Necrons, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I quite like it, actually, so... I like the shading at the base of the staff blade. I feel like more of that shading should continue with the rest of it. Other than that, I think he's looking...
Yeah, no, I think that was a really interesting and good choice.
Yeah.
Alright, we're getting to the end of it.
And we've got some from this John person.
Yes, this...
John.
But I have to say, I will write my thoughts. No. Finish your models.
Yeah.
There we go.
I like how he compares this Roman architecture to being a hobby.
Do you want to read it out?
Yeah, okay. We are not so different from our hobby ancestors. Archaeologists excavate ancient workshop with unfinished sculptures on Greek island. And of course, they've got Warhammer hobbyists on one end, and you've got the Greeks on the other hand. Unfinished minis all around.
Oh,
yeah, because to the Greeks, architecture is just a hobby. You know, just another hobby in the
Let's
century.
move on to Chris.
We got Chris. Was hoping to finish the squad in a week, but probably still have another one to go to finish all the metallic details, tidy up, and powder weapons. And oil wash plus basing, of course. And I like it.
Yeah, it
looks quite similar to the box.
Yeah, it's a whip, but I mean, like, look, everything's
pretty darn good whip.
Yeah, like things have come quite far along, and like I can see that they're going to look very similar
to the ones that you already have.
Yeah. So
I don't see. Hey, you did a lot of work. Okay.
Yes.
And I know. Like, look, you got this much done in a week, is it? Squad in a week. I mean, it's not finished, but it is very good progress
and consistent.
Very consistent. It's the most important thing.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Okay, let us finish with our last.
What a grey plastic.
No.
Terrible.
There's a thing up in the corner which is painted.
Oh yeah. No one can tell.
No one can tell.
No
You're
one
correct.
can tell. And so it be.
Yes. Who knows what this is?
Who knows? Who in the crowd knows what this be?
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Would you have a cam set up for time-lapse video? Asks.
No.
We ain't got time.
No. Unfortunately, our ability to record has been dramatically reduced.
Yeah, so we will see what happens, but that is everything for this week, everybody. And we thank you all for your weekly participations and your weekly what's the word?
WAYPNs.
No.
Okay.
The word is tribute. Yes. Your weekly tributes to the altar of WAYPN, so that we may look upon them and speak about them in high praise.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought we were just going to say, keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
See ya.
See ya.